Hello everybody and welcome to a mini coaching session. I am Tilnet. I am an Overwatch player currently in Masters as in the time of making of this video. And today we're looking at a bronze tracer gameplay for a friend to hopefully give him some tips on how to improve his gameplay and climb out of bronze bracket. So a quick few notes before we jump into it. He was, or is rather, unable to record his gameplay, and sadly Overwatch doesn't allow other players to spectate competitive, so I was unfortunately forced to spectate his quick play games. I spectated a couple of them and recorded one in particular, Hanamura Attack, where we're gonna look at his game style, gameplay, give him some tips, and just comment on his decision making and ability usage, etc. So just so you know, this is a quick play match. It's not competitive, so keep all the suggestions and tips that I give in mind with a grain of salt, because in the end competitive and quick play are two different game modes, and in quick play people practice, people have fun, mess around, don't necessarily want to win. But I talked to Azrael, a person who we're giving a coach session to give his best in all the matches he played when I spectated, and I'm convinced that he did his best and tried to win. So yeah, without further ado, let's jump straight into this VOD review. Alright, so we are on Attack Hanamura. It's a good map generally for dive compositions. You have your Winston's, Diva, Genji, Tracers to attack the points. However, Hanamura, especially first point, allows for some different compositions as well, with Reinhardt and Zarya for attack and on defense. And on defense you usually see also Roadhog paired with Orisa and Junkrat for that max potential spam damage into the choke point. Alright, so I'm just talking here to Azrael, so he tries his best. Think about his decisions. Alright, let's see. Alright, so one of the things that you can already point out, it's very unlikely to happen, but sometimes you will see players stand up here in this mini window. Now, it isn't a big deal if that's like a Junkrat, if that's like a Pharah, shouldn't be too much a problem, but let's say there's a Hanzo or a Widowmaker, and if the enemy also has a Mercy, that Hanzo or Widow can be both damage boosted. Damage boosted body shot from Widow can insta-kill Tracer, because Tracer has, as we know, 150 HP. Therefore, it's not that smart to go in this main choke or main road with it on this path, but rather go on the other side, or wait for your tanks to go in front of you and then start coming behind them. Also, you could use your blink here or two, so in case they had something to juke it. But again, that's just a minor detail to keep in mind when you next play Hanamura, that somebody may stand up here, so just keep it in mind. Nothing wrong so far though. Okay, so we see instantly, or rather here instantly, I have the volume, by the way, rather low on the gameplay, mainly because within the VOD review I was in Discord call with another friend of mine, and we both basically discussed his gameplay, and I toned down a bit of the volume so his voice doesn't really interrupt current coaching session. He made some good points, by the way, so I'll go over them. But in the video, we can clearly hear that there was Roadhog with his chain sounds in this mini room. He hooks McCree, doesn't kill him, and you guys cleared him out. Now, if I just go back for a few seconds, let's look at his Azrael's aim. Okay, so he basically didn't hit Roadhog at all. Now, one thing before I want to jump into like a session is to talk about sensitivity. Sensitivity in Overwatch is rather important. Too slow sensitivity, you won't be able, or too low sensitivity rather, you won't be able to turn around when there's a threat on the side you're not looking at, and will most likely grant you a death. Too high sensitivity will cause you a messy aim, for example the one that we just saw, unable to hit targets, even the biggest targets in the game, such as Roadhog and other tanks. So I later, after this VOD review, or this recording I did, talked to Azrael about his sensitivity. He said, I don't know how much of this is true, he had some difficulties finding his DPI, but just to keep in mind, he said that his DPI is 1600 and his in-game sensitivity is set on 23. That is extremely high. That is way too high. So he had 1600 DPI and 23 in-game sense. This is way too high. For example, myself, I play mostly hit scans. I am a player known mostly for my Widowmaker, McCree, and with ability to flex onto off tanks and supports, but shine the most on long range hit scans, 76, Kree, and Widow. I use 800 DPI on my mouse, and in game, for majority of Overwatch's roster, I use 6.8 sensitivity. So compared to his stats right here, that's a really big difference. And for some, even this sensitivity is too high on heroes such as McCree or Widow. So, in my opinion, lower your sensitivity. Tracer can generally have a bit higher sensitivity because of her 180 turns that you do. We're gonna go into such movements maybe later on, but that's not so important. Later down the line, just so you know and keep in mind, Tracer can generally have a higher sensitivity, but not that high. 1600 DPI paired with 23 sensitivity is way too high. I would recommend it lowering. I will also in the video description put a website that allows you to get your Overwatch sensitivity like more on point. So you put your measures in, it will calculate all the stuff, and you can tune your sensitivity that way to see it and to fit your gameplay more. So again, the site is in the description down below. Feel free to check it out and mess around with it. But yeah, sensitivity very important, especially on heroes like this that require a lot of hit scan aim and are not so spammy, such as most projectile heroes. Alright, without further ado, let's jump straight into the next section. Okay, before we continue, let's just revert a bit. So, Hanamura is an interesting map. There's this choke point right here that most of the team will need to go through in order to proceed and win the point. Tracer has only 150 HP. Always keep that in mind. She's the hero with the least amount of HP in the entire game. The only one being 150 HP is Diva when she loses her mech, and is basically as vulnerable as you are. However, she builds her mech really quickly, so she usually won't, or usually you won't find a mini Diva on the field, at least not frequently. So again, you are the most vulnerable hero in the game. Keep in mind that you need to stay away from positions that everybody can see, and one of these positions is right here. Let's say the team is more coordinated. I don't know, let's say they have a soldier 76 up here, or on the other high ground right here. That allows you to be in an open without any cover, while also potentially we also know that they at the beginning they have Roadhog, right? So if Roadhog wasn't so greedy and would wait, I don't know, let's say here at the beginning of the match, when you got in here, you were easy target to get hooked. Roadhog would stand here, hook your body, and at that point, if he has a good aim, he would kill you. So be careful. With Tracer, never take a position that is in the middle of nowhere. Always have some covers. So what I usually recommend with Tracer players is go into places that has lots of cover. That you, as Tracer, you need to play with a map. Tracer is very independent hero. She can play by herself without her team. Basically, she can go behind the enemy lines and clear them one by one because she has that 1v1 duel potential. To do so, however, again, to compensate for lower HP she needs to play smart and careful. So what I recommend is next time you are in such maps, go into places you can't be seen as much. Yeah, go left, go right. What you could also do here is go straight to point, but again, you're then wasting all three of your blinks. And to keep in mind, blinks and recall are your most important abilities. That's what you have of abilities, but they are so important because they grant you maneuverability, and they also grant you an escape. And with, again, just repeating this, I'm sorry for being annoying, but with 150 HP, your first goal is to survive. Survival is your #1 priority, not only on Tracer, on every single hero in Overwatch. However, it is much easier to survive on, let's say, Roadhog than it is on Tracer. So keep in mind your survival as Tracer, keep in mind your cooldowns, and play with the map. That's why I recommended for you to go this side or this side, because there is a mini health pack in this house, plus there is a mini or big health pack here, and there's one big health pack here, and there's one mini health pack behind the point. So play smart. If you're gonna flank all the way around, there's also a mini health pack here in this mini room. So keep in mind the map you're playing on. Play in such a way that you can easily reach health packs so that you don't use your recall. If you use your recall, you need to play much more passively, because at that point, if team focuses you down and you don't have any blinks, you're dead. Being dead, it's not good. Yeah? Alright, let's go forward. Okay, so again, just an very good example of your poor aim, and that is mainly because of the sensitivity. You are jumping from, let's say Zenyatta is my character to kill. You aim at him, then you jump again. It's all over the place. You can't stay with your crosshair on the same target. You're jumping. That is a clue that your sensitivity is way too high. What I recommend doing is going to practice range after you find your sensitivity with the link I provided in the description. Go into practice range on the robot. Place your crosshair on him. Yeah, it's your crosshair. Then press A and D. Yeah, not just like constantly, just so you strafe, but more or less in the sense that you press A, so you start strafing left side. While doing that, you try to remain your crosshair on this target, on the robot in the practice range. Yeah, constantly. So if you manage to go left side, like if you turn left side, and the crosshair is still on that robot, that's good. However, if you move left, and then your crosshair starts moving this side, you can't keep it, or this side rather, because you're over aiming, that means your sensitivity is still not perfect. Yeah? Then do this again for the right side. You press your D on the keyboard, you're going in the right side while trying to remain your crosshair on the target. If you do that without crosshair slipping from the target, your sensitivity is good. Yeah? That's how you will find if you can keep a crosshair on one target when you move. That is a clue that your sensitivity is in a rather good shape. Okay, so yeah, be careful. Again, sensitivity, drop it down because currently it's way too high. You have at the moment 14% of ultimate charge. You gained nothing from the Roadhog at the beginning, and right here there were two. There were Widowmaker and there was Torbjorn, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, there's a Torbjorn, and you didn't kill any of them. Widowmaker dies, Torbjorn goes on to the point. So yeah, keep in mind, you don't get ultimate charge because you don't hit people. You don't hit people because your sensitivity is too high. Otherwise, position again really bad. Try to play with walls, like around the cover, not in the open. You know there's a turret right up here, and if your team moves away out of line of sight of that turret, you will get focused by it, and again, if you have low HP, you're gonna die very quickly. Okay, let's pause. So with blinks, also I noticed this throughout your gameplay. I'll just point it out now, so I don't really have to later on. Go in practice range and practice your blinks. What do I mean by that? Practice the distance for one blink. Like how much does one blink grant you in meters? How much ground do you cover with one right click or one press of shift button? You jumped or bumped rather into a wall right there. Let's see, it was right here. So you blinked. As soon as the blink came onto cooldown, you blinked into this wall. So why did you blink here and not in the room or outside? It's, I don't know. I would again assume because of the sensitivity, you didn't really move your mouse, you just pressed, and because you maybe panicked a bit, you just quickly pressed blink so you can escape the line of sight of the enemies, which again is good, but remember, blink management is important. Try to always have at least one blink to escape. Oftentimes you use all three and you're left without. Right here again, you're in the open with the turret up here shooting at you. You're on 80 HP without blinks. You're gonna be forced to use recall at some point for basically nothing. Yeah, recall is when you're really in the tough situation. Right here, is recall necessary if you would have, I don't know, let's say 2 blinks? No, not at all. You go here, you pick up this mini health pack. You can even go behind. However, you know that the enemy is coming back from their spawn, so maybe not the smartest idea to go there. However, it is an option, just so you know. Again, know your maps when you play them. There you go, you used your recall. Alright, take the high ground. Also one thing to keep in mind, in bronze this is not as important, but later down the line you will need to keep in mind such things if you want to climb even more, to keep attention to kill feed. I don't know how much you, that's the problem with me spectating you and recording, I don't know how much you press tab. Tab is very useful ability if you're waiting for your team to regroup. When you're dead, I usually press tab to see which of my teammates are dead. I can also now with the recent additions see how their ultimate charges are doing, and I can also see which enemies are dead and if enemies may be swapped to a certain different hero. So yeah, press tab to gain more information, and especially on maps like 2CP, so Hanamura, Horizon Lunar Colony, Volskaya Industries, Temple of Anubis, are maps that require a lot of coordination by attacking team, especially on the second point, because defenders have such a spawn advantage that if you lose more than 2 players on the attack side, when attacking second point, you basically won't be able to win that point. So yeah, just so you know, it will require communication from your team. I know this is hard to get in lower brackets, bronze, silver, gold. There's not too much communication. There's not very useful communication. So sadly you will need to keep such things for yourself, like keep in mind the kill feed, keep in mind the enemies who are alive, your team ultimates, the enemy's ultimates, etc. Anyway, let's proceed. Okay, killing the turret. Okay, so you're 94 HP. Again, keep in mind your health at all times when playing Tracer. Well, when you're playing any hero really, but Tracer especially for the reasons I already mentioned. If you know the map, you know that right below you, where you're standing right now, there's a mini health pack. You don't go for it. You destroy the turret, so you know that there's no threat down below. At least not currently. You can easily pick that health pack up and get back to your full health. Yeah? Okay, so again, play with the health packs, play with the map, heal up, play smart. Again, a good example of like having a few bullets missing arguably the biggest target in the game. Yeah, this is Roadhog. Yeah, this is his hook that he has, and this is his take a breather. Yeah, you need to hit such targets. It's okay if you miss like smaller targets. Another tracer if you're dueling a Mercy can be very hard to hit when she's jumping all around. It's okay, you will miss, everybody will, but try to hit from such range that you were right now, like a couple of meters from Roadhog, to hit this target. You don't have to go for headshots, even though I recommend that when you start shooting later on, go for the headshots. It grants you double the damage. It's very useful. It's much easier to kill heroes with getting headshots. That's why I also play Widowmaker. But yes, again, tune your sensitivity. Alright, so you use blinks to escape Hog. Hog hooks your Winston. This is much better. For example, you're hitting way more shots here. Okay, again, a bit twitchy aim right here, the last clip you made, but otherwise you hit majority of those shots. So yeah, that's how you need to tune your sensitivity, so you can constantly shoot at the Roadhog. Okay, just get some turret. That was dangerous again. Look your HP. Ana hit you with your her grenade, preventing you from getting any healing for a couple of seconds. So you're gonna, you see, you're on top of the health pack, but you need to wait additional half a second or so to get that 75 HP from the health pack. Okay, destroy the turret. Okay, flashbang. So also one thing, know your counters. Tracer on paper has many counters. In game, I wouldn't say she has a lot of counters, mainly because of the playstyles Tracer have, and that is which ability against McCree that has average aim is the most annoying to you if you're playing Tracer. It's his flashbang. His flashbang, he can throw it a couple of meters and has a couple of meters of range. So if you bait out his flashbang, he is very vulnerable to you, because again, if he doesn't have a good aim, and generally Tracer is rather tough to hit with McCree, because she has a very forgiving silhouette. Well, that duel now becomes basically into favor of you, just because you removed his ability to stun you and put you in place for a solid second to kill you. So what do you do with Tracers when you see McCree? It's okay, like you were here on point, you were really close by, doesn't matter. Again, your team was basically dead. There's not many people. You know that there's two just coming back. You know that your Winston died, so that's at least 3 people that are not around you. Again, keep these things in mind. It's okay to sometimes go back, wait for your team, and then push again S6. If you have the number advantage, yeah, than the enemy, you have higher percent chance of winning that team fight, and if you win a team fight right here, you will most likely cap the first point. Okay. So yeah, what you can also do with like such heroes that can potentially counter you. So McCree has his flashbang up. What do? You blink towards McCree and then quickly blink back. Most of the McCrees will, as soon as they see you coming in with blinks, try to stun you. Yeah, they'll throw their stun, but at the moment when they're gonna throw their stun, you already blink back, which basically resulted in them wasting their 10-second ability and you having an advantage of killing them. At that time, again, you need to be careful with your blinks. You used to bait out his flashbang, so be slow, be careful how you approach the duels. Okay, use recall, helping out Zenyatta and Hog with the kills. Reaper. Okay, he used his raid form, so at this point you know that Reaper at the current state can cancel his raid form whenever he wants. He killed your Zen. You are 43 HP, no recall. Your recall is on 5-second cooldown. what you can do, grab the health pack that's behind you and heal up a bit, so you have a better chance of killing that Reaper.
Have you just repeat for?
Okay. Oh, that's unlucky. Reaper is basically 1 HP. You see this? He's really low. Kills your Roadhog. So you just need to land a couple of shots on him. Okay. That was unfortunate. He used his that blossom to kill you. You were basically the same amount of HP as he was. The problem was that you were reloading. When you're reloading, try to stay in a cover again. You could easily be here behind the wall, or go for this mini health pack. Be careful, because your reload animation is 1 second. This is a lot in Overwatch. Like, people underestimate the time in Overwatch. You can kill the whole team within 10 seconds, even faster sometimes. And 1 second is quite a long time. Not super long, but again, just enough to get killed, like it happened right here. Also, one thing I noticed, I don't know how many of you have paid attention to his ammo, but a lot of times you go in, you shoot a couple of shots onto target, and then you have like, I don't know, let's say 7 out of 40 bullets left in the clip. Then you go in, start shooting at the target, you waste this or clear this 7 ammo that you have left, and then you are forced for 1 second to reload while being in the open and dueling the enemy. This is not good. Try to always reload, even if, okay, let's say that Reaper was a 1 HP, you clear him, you used 14 bullets, you didn't die here, Reaper died, even though he did die to Widow later on, but you killed him. And you're alive, you use 26, or use 14 bullets, you have 26 remaining. What you do, press your R key to reload. Yeah, because that way, next duel you will have all the ammo possible or available when dueling. Because if not, you only have 26. Tracer doesn't have a lot of damage output, you know. She does on a close range, but when she's close, she's also vulnerable. And with 26, it's very, very difficult to remove a 200 HP target. Nearly impossible. If you hit all the headshots, yes, you will kill the target, but it's really tough to hit all the headshots because target will be moving, your aim will not be like an aimbot, so there's lots of variables. So try to maximize your ammo at all times, especially when there's no one to really like pressure you. Just press R key, reload, go in. Okay, so you died to Reaper, Widow clears
Let's go on
the point, Winston
with,
jumping, okay, you go in.